everyone, I'm Lauren from My Something Beautiful Life, and Passionate Penny Pincher was so kind and they sent me their new money planner to review for you. I am very excited about this because I have actually been struggling to find a good budget planner this year. I think I've tried 4 or 5 different options so far and nothing has been working very well. So I am really excited to give this a try because this is unlike any budget planner I have seen before. And something that I really love about this particular budget planner is that included with it are actually 10 cash envelopes. So I want to show you those two. So this is how it comes in this cute yellow box. I think it is usually wrapped up in plastic, but I already took it out because I have been looking through it. But I think I want to show you these cash envelopes first. Okay, so I went ahead and took them out of the plastic to show you. So like I said, there are 10 of them and they are all super cute. So they all have these fun colors. Let me see if I can flip them all around. Okay, holding them all together is kind of slippery, but I wanted to show you the designs of each one because they are all super cute. They match the Passionate Penny Pincher colors perfectly. So this yellow one says make it happen. I don't know how I'm going to do this. They're just so slippery. Okay, so this one says make it happen. This is pink with some polka dots. We have, these are 2 different shades of blue or like a mint green type of color. And they have this leaf pattern on them. We have don't quit. Today's the day. A blue polka dot. Here's another blue polka dot, again in the 2 different shades of the bluish green. And then we have 2 different shades of yellow, both with the leaf pattern. So these are very durable. They're very thick plastic. They have a snap closure on them, so you can keep your money inside. And then on the back, they have a little spot for a label. Because of the texture of this plastic, I'm not sure if I would try any sort of markers on it. It might work just fine. I just haven't heard either way if it is like a dry wet erase type of thing, and I'm just too chicken to experiment with it. But what I would do is put stickers on them, and you will see the planner itself actually does come with some stickers that you can use on here, or you could always make your own. Even with like Avery labels, they have removable ones that would be perfect for that if you needed some extras. But unless you are absolutely certain that your categories aren't going to change, I don't know if I would write it in permanently. Another thing you could do though is use vinyl. So if you are somebody who has a way to cut vinyl, or if you know somebody who does, or if you wanted to purchase vinyl labels, that's always an option too. I think that would work really well on these as well. But I'm very impressed with the quality of these. I wish I could explain more the thickness of it, but these are a really good thick envelope. Okay, so let's talk about the Passionate Penny Pincher Money Planner. This is a little bit different of a book style than the home planner. So I brought my home planner over too, so you can see it is slightly smaller than the home planner, not by much, but just a tiny little bit. In fact, the page size is probably the same, but just because the cover here is laminated, that probably makes for some of the difference. I think the coil is the same. It's a different size coil, but the thickness of the wire feels the same to me. And then there's the difference in the thickness. I did add a few pages to this, but I mean, it's probably like that much, so it shouldn't be super noticeable. So you can see that the money planner is actually much thinner. And the cover material is the same. Like I said, this one's laminated. This one is just like a really thick, I believe it's plastic. It feels like a plastic to me. It's very durable. It bends a little. It has a little give to it, but it's not flimsy. Like it's not gonna bend or fall apart. And it has the beautiful pinstripe foiling on it that I just love. I'm gonna set this off to the side, but I do have one thing in here I'm going to show you later, comparing it to the home planner. Okay, so inside, just like with her other planners, you also get a ruler bookmark with the money planner. I use bookmarks all the time. They're one of my favorite things that people include with their planners, so I was very grateful to see this. I love how it says every day's a fresh start, kind of like the cover, and then it has the cute numbers across the side, and it's a frosted plastic, so it's going to be pretty durable. I really haven't had any trouble with her rulers snapping or breaking or anything like that. Even the whatever these are called, the little prongs on the side, they always go on very easily. I absolutely love her rulers. And then we just have this laminated page right here at the beginning, and a couple sheet of stickers. Okay, so these ones are more functional, and then we have some decorative and some quotes, things like that. But one thing I want to point out specifically about this page is that some of these stickers are for very specific purposes if you so choose to use them that way. Of course, you can always use them for whatever you want, but they did give you some stickers for some specific things in this planner. So first of all, like I already mentioned, here's the labels for the envelopes. So you have 8 that are already filled out and then 4 blank ones to use for whatever you want. And then because this planner is undated, you have some stickers here with months on them. So you can even see right here along the side, it is labeled with what each set of stickers is for. So like here you can see tabs, savings account, annual budget, and then right here it says the cash budget envelopes. These stickers right here are intended to go in your tabs. The tabs themselves are actually labeled already, but they're just labeled with month 1, month 2, month 3, etc. And these stickers are white, so they will show up against the colors, but you should still be able to see the color around the sticker too, so you still have your pretty tabs. And we will get to these pages in a little bit. I will show you where these go as well, but just take note that these little label stickers are here as well. And then of course you have your functional stickers. You have some tiny circles, some dollar bills, money signs, the stars, check boxes, all kinds of fun things. Okay, so there's that page, and then I'll let you get a better look at this one because I flipped through it really quickly. But this just has some really cute quotes on it. I love having motivating quotes, and I think these are just designed really cute, so I love this page. And then we start getting into the planner. So you have your name page right here at the beginning. We have a letter from Lori and the table of contents. Similar to the home planner, you have a bunch of pages in the beginning that will go for the entire year, and then it will break it down into the months. So the first thing that we have is your goals. So here you have your long-term financial goals. So you have space for 2 one-year goals, 2 5-year goals, and then the action steps to take, which I think this is really important because it's really easy to say, oh, I want to pay off all my debt. But if you don't know how you're going to do it, then you're probably not going to make very much progress on it. So it's really important to know the action steps that you're going to take for any goal that you set. On this side, we have savings planning. You have space for 4 different savings goals, and each one has a space for writing what the goal is, the amount that you want to save, when do you need it by, and then the deposits that you make for that particular goal. The next page is the net worth worksheet. On this side, you'll list all of your assets. On this side, you will list all of your liabilities, and then you total up both of them and add them up here to get your final net worth. And then you have a space for notes over here. And you actually have 2 of these pages that are identical so that you can do it once at the beginning of the year and then once at the end of the year too. Or if you wanted to do it mid-year for a check-in, you could do that. Especially if you are getting like a new planner every year, you'll probably have a new one for the beginning of the year. So if you do this one at the beginning, this one's 6 months in, and then you'll have another one the 6 months later when you start the new planner. There's even a space up here for the date so you can track which date you were looking at what your net worth was so that you can see how it changes over the year. The next thing that we have is the bill payment schedule. There is a ton of room on this page. So if you have a lot of bills, there's plenty of room here to track all of them. So you have a column for what the bill is, the amount, the date it's due, and then a checkbox for each month of the year. And then it's just the same on both pages. Another thing that you possibly could do if this applies to you is use each page for a different type of expenses. So for instance, if you have a business and you have business expenses, you could do 1 page for your personal and home expenses and 1 page for your business expenses if you wanted to separate them out. So that's also definitely a perk of having 2 separate pages for it. I would definitely also recommend even keeping bills on here that are due less than once a month. So for instance, if you have quarterly bills, or I know some people have utilities that are paid every other month, or if you have yearly annual subscriptions, things like that only come out once a year, or things like property tax, things that you may not pay frequently but still need to keep track of, definitely put those on here too. I think for most people, this should be enough room to keep track of anything that is paid on a regular basis. Okay, and then the next page that you have is a monthly calendar. This does have dates on it, but this is not a dated calendar. So you'll notice at the top, it does not have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It just has the numbers in the boxes. This is just an example calendar. So you can fill in what date each of your bills are due on. So if you are like me and you like to see your bills laid out on a monthly calendar, this is a really cool way to do it without having to rewrite it every month, because I will tell you that is probably one of my weaknesses, is rewriting the monthly calendar every month. Even though I love to see it on a monthly calendar, it's just not something that I remember to do. So I love the idea of just having one calendar where you can write all of it out and then reference it for the entire year. And then on the sidebar right here, we have a space for the quarterly goals and the annual goals, just to make sure that they have somewhere to go as well, because they probably won't have a specific date that they fall on the way monthly bills do. And then you have a space for notes down here for just anything else that you might want to take note of for this calendar. Next, we have the annual budget overview. Now, this is where those stickers come in handy, because up here you'll have month 1, month 2, and you can see a little line. So while you definitely could just write in what month it is, you have been given stickers that will fit in that space as well. Pages like this, I just love to see, because it gives you a really good way to track how much money you're spending throughout the year on different categories. So this top section right here is all of your expenses, and then down here is your income. Now, these are filled out for you. However, if they don't work for you, I would definitely just either put a sticker over it or just cross it out and write it next to it. There's tons of room right next to it where you could change it if you need to. Overall, I think these are pretty general categories. You have charity, savings, housing, utility, medical, clothing, food, personal, transportation, and miscellaneous. They are very broad categories, but I feel like they're pretty all-inclusive for most situations. But definitely if you needed to change them, it would be really easy to do that. And then the income ones are all left blank, so you can just fill that in however you need to. And then you have space here at the bottom to calculate all of the totals and the differences. This is a really great way to just keep track of where you're at financially, just on one page. And then similarly, we have the savings account ledger. So this one also has the spaces for the stickers along the top, and there are the 2 different sets of monthly stickers here at the beginning. So you have the annual budget ones and the savings account stickers. Most of these also are pre-filled out, but there are some blank ones here at the bottom. You have your totals down here, and there's an example so you can kind of see how it would look as well. This would actually work really well if you were tracking sinking funds, because it will give you a good overview of how much money is in each sinking fund through the year. There's also a column right here where you can write down what your goal amount is for that category. The next page is the debt reduction plan. There are spaces for 4 different debts here. You have the debt name, the beginning balance, minimum payment, the payment date. So this is where you're keeping track of your payments. So you have the date that you made the payment, the amount you paid, and then the remaining balance. Again, just a really good overview to be able to track it throughout the year. And then the next page is the grocery budget expenses. Now, groceries have not been very fun lately, and so pages like this actually are very interesting to me, because I love the idea of tracking how much groceries are going to cost each month. Or I should say tracking how much I spend on groceries each month. So you have a box for each month. You have a space to write what day you went, the store you went to, and how much was spent there, and then the total down at the bottom. I love the way this page is set up, because it doesn't assume that you're only going to go grocery shopping once a week. It gives you the room to actually keep track of it like a spreadsheet. Then we have some information pages. So this one is your bank account information, and there's enough room for 8 different accounts here. So checking accounts, savings accounts, business accounts if you have them. I would even consider putting investment accounts on here. So if you have something like a Roth IRA or some other like high yield savings account, keep those on here too, just so you have all the information in one place. Now, I know some people are hesitant to put information like this down, and if that's you, that's totally fine. You could even just leave things like the account number and the routing number blank, and maybe like password, credit card numbers. Like, you don't have to fill in all of it, but you could still put some of the information. You could put the bank name, things like that. So you don't have to fill in sensitive information if that's not something that you're comfortable with. However, I do believe it is a good practice to have a record of the bank accounts that you have somewhere, in whichever way that makes you feel secure. I have just seen too many instances where family members needed to find information like this and it wasn't written anywhere, and it turned into a huge struggle when somebody couldn't access their information for themselves. So whether you want to do it in a planner like this or find some other way to keep track of it, I just think it's important to have the information somewhere and to have trusted individuals who know where to find that information if needed. Similarly, we have a page for credit card information. There is space here for 4 different cards. And then we have subscription information, which is kind of on a different tangent, but also important to keep track of. Subscriptions, especially nowadays, can just get out of control so fast. And I think it's really important to definitely keep track of the ones that you have, because you definitely could be wasting money on things that you don't even remember that you're paying for. And now we also have a password organizer. So this applies the same way as the bank account information. You may not feel comfortable having it in a book, but I do recommend having it somewhere just in case it's needed to be accessed by somebody other than you. And there is space for 12 different accounts here. And it has service, company, account number, website, username, password, email, and a note. All of the information that you would need for your different accounts, particularly ones that have to do with bills that you are paying. The next page that we have is in case of emergency. So we have your basic information, your spouse's basic information if it applies, emergency contacts, medical information, health history, spouse's health history, and a space for notes. Again, this is just information that it's just good to have it written down somewhere. I actually personally like the idea of having all of this information in one single planner, because then I know the book that I need to keep secure. It's all in one place and I know where to go for it if I need that information. Okay, now we have a couple notes pages just for any other information that you might want to keep track of. So there's 2 here, 4 and 6. And then we start into the months. So each month at the beginning, we'll have a notes page. So this one technically goes for month 1. These other pages, you can use them for whatever you want. I mean, honestly, you could use this one for whatever you want to, but it does tend to go with month 1 since all of the other months also have their own notes page. After the tab, we have the monthly overview. One thing that I really like about this planner is that it addresses not just the math side of budgeting, but also the mental side of it. So for each month, you have some prompts. I believe that they are different for each month. And each month will have a task that you can do that will help with your financial situation in some way. So monthly overview. I believe the monthly overview page is the same for each month. So at the beginning of the month, you have a checklist of things to do, and it tells you which page to find those different things. At the beginning of the week, here's a checklist and there's a box for each week. And then things to do daily, which this one just says purposefully spend as little as you can today, and then complete daily spending ledger on page 38. And that's going to be the one for month 1 specifically. So I'm sure the page numbers will change based on which month you're in. And then over here we have, what is your biggest financial goal this month? Who will benefit because you've chosen to wisely care for your money today? And what are you most excited about in regards to your financial future? So I just love this little bit of reflection, especially setting a goal for the month, but then giving you a reminder about why it's important that you are taking care of your money. So for month 1, the special task for the month is start a family budget meeting. I 100% believe that this can also be done as individuals. So don't let the word family scare you off if you are budgeting by yourself, because this could definitely still be helpful for you. It's more of setting a time to go over financial goals and just look at the financial situation and find ways where it can be improved. So you have 3 different prompts for that specific task. Next, we have the Plan Well page. And I believe this page is the same for every month. It says, are you ready to dream big with your money? This is where you'll keep track of all the ideas you're looking forward to. Decide today where you want to spend your hard-earned money this month. Let's review this list over the next 30 days. So it gives you some reflections just to kind of be more intentional about what you are doing with your money. And then we move into the budget worksheet. So this is where I want to bring out the home planner. And I'm just going to pick a random month in the middle and turn to the budget worksheet that is at the back of each month. The design of the worksheet is a little bit different, as you can see. However, everything else on it is identical. The categories are the same. The items within each category are all the same. The totals at the bottom are all the same. The only thing that is different about this is just how it looks. So if you are using both of these planners, you can fill out the budget in one and either don't fill it out in the other or copy it over so that you have the same information in both places. That's probably what I would be more prone to do, just so that I could reference it in whichever planner I was looking at. Now, the one thing I will say about this budget is that generally speaking, I am not usually a fan of budgets that are filled in for you, because I feel like the things that I have to pay for in my situation are very different than what would be like standard. There's a lot of things listed here that I don't worry about at all. However, for somebody who is just getting started budgeting, I think this is an amazing place to start because it gives you so many different things to look at that might be categories that you didn't even consider. And if you know anything about me, one thing I'm not afraid to do is cross off things that don't work for me or cover them up with a sticker. So if I do find a category that I'm consistently not using, I would probably just cross it out, cover it up, replace it with something else. But what I do love about this page is that it has a category for projected and a category for actual. Because at the beginning of the month, you may not know what bills are actually going to cost, but you may have a general idea, or maybe they are totally off. Maybe some unexpected things come up that you weren't planning for. And so I do see value in setting your budget at the beginning of the month, planning where the money's going to go, but then adjusting as you go along because things are going to change. It's never going to be exactly what you want it to be, exactly what you plan for it to be. It's always going to change a little. So I love a budget sheet that has the projected plus the actual because we just know it's going to change. Okay, next we have daily spending ledger. So there are these 2 full pages for tracking your transactions. You have the date, the description, the amount, and then you have a series of check boxes to go through. So the first ones are cash, credit, and debit. So you can track how the money was spent. This next section in the pinks are need and want. And then over here in the blue, you have categories. So you have clothing, dining, fun, gas, grocery, personal, and miscellaneous. And like I've said with many other aspects of this and other planners, if those categories don't work for you, just cross them off or cover them up with a sticker, make them your own. But I love the idea of tracking the categories. It's really good information to have to see which of the categories are getting the majority of your money. Now, one thing I want to point out is that in these categories, it only accounts for spending. It's not accounting for bills or other things that like have to be paid. Well, I mean, there's a gas one, grocery, those things have to be paid. But what I'm saying is there's not really a space for bills. This page is truly just to track your spending because that's probably where most people will make or break their budget is in their spending. Okay, and then at the end of each month, we have a monthly review. So you have what is your biggest money win this month? What did you waste money on this month? What could you have done better this month with your money? What did you do with your money this month that you would do again? What change did you make that will last? Who was impacted because you chose to spend money wisely this month? And what is your biggest financial goal that you want to reach next month? So just a little reflection that can help you as you move forward into the next month. And then again, we have the notes page for the coming month, and each of the months will repeat the same way like that. Okay, and then at the very end, once we get to the end of month 12, we have the review, and then you just have some additional notes pages just to keep track of anything else that you might need to have in your budget planner. There's a pocket in the back for bills or other miscellaneous things that you need to keep with you. And that is the end of it. I'm very excited to try this out. I love all of the review and the goal setting questions, all of the things that just kind of make you think a little bit more about where your money's going and what you can do to improve your financial situation. I will leave a link to this planner in the description box in case you want to check it out. And if you want to see my review of the Passionate Penny Pincher Home Planner, you can check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.